Hello and welcome everybody to our today's Just Planet webinar. Today I'm very happy to present our new product to you, which is the Just Planet Production Excellence Dashboard in the version 4.0. But before we hop into our today's agenda, please note upfront that as this is a GoToWebinar, all attendees are automatically muted, and this is due to optimization of the quality of audio. So if you guys do have a question during the webinar, please do not hesitate to ask it via the chat box. I promise that we will answer every question that you put into the chat box, either during this webinar or later, answering in detail via email or via other channels. Okay, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Elmar Karlovic, and I'm Managing Director and co-owner of Netronic Software, which is the German-based software company that provides Just Planet and for sure also the JPI Excellence Dashboard. So why using a dashboard in general in addition to your Just Planet subscription? So what are the reasons? Well, to give a short answer up front, because a planning board has different addresses than a dashboard. So the planning board is made for the production planner with all the dedicated functionality, to keep your schedule updated and to have an optimized finite scheduling. This requires a lot of dedicated functionality as well as, looking into the details. Different is the requirement if you're coming from the position of a manager or a shop owner. So these guys, want to have a top level. They want to see how the business is evolving over time. And this is why it for sure makes sense to run a dashboard together with your Just Planet planning board. Because the JPI dashboard is specially made for the requirements of managers and owners. So it provides a top view into the development of your schedule and includes both historical data as well as the focus into the future. So furthermore, at a first glance, the manager gets a clear view of the performance of the business. So that's also why a lot of people call dashboards management cockpits. So it's like flying an airplane using a cockpit and seeing all different KPIs, evolving over time. And just all KPIs together give you this good perspective into your performance. And of course, they are aggregated first. It is a top level. We have got aggregated KPIs, but furthermore, we also have the functionality to drill down from that aggregated KPI from top level into down level, even at the bottom into the details. So this is why for sure it makes sense to have both a planning board connected together with a dashboard that feeds the dashboard based on historical data plus all the schedule data. Okay, as you guys might know, we provided a dashboard in the past already, which I would like to call the old version here. So just have a quick look into the difference when comparing the new version 4.0 against the old version. So in the past, you also built the dashboard based on Microsoft Power BI. The dashboard directly connected with your JPI account based on an incremental interface, but the data you needed to host locally on your side. And that is why actually the dashboard became kind of a one-time action. So we provided a dashboard file to you, plus everything needed to easily install it on your site. So with providing all this, we handed over the responsibility and everything into the customer's hands. And so we have been out of the game. And this now has changed because looking into the current version is also built based on Microsoft Power BI, no change. It also directly connects with your account, no change. Based on an incremental interface, no change, proven, all good. But that's the big difference now. The data of version 4.0 is hosted in Azure too, same as the scheduled data is hosted in Azure, same as Just Planet app is hosted in Azure. And now what we additionally do when you subscribe to the dashboard, we also host your historical data in Azure. So that all data, the historical data plus the data that is in your planning board can feed your dashboard. Furthermore, what we want to do is we see the dashboard as part of the Just Planet family. So it is not a one-time action anymore where we hand over a file and then we disappear. No, we see the new dashboard as a living product. And this product is subscription based. And the subscription fee includes the data storage, the maintenance of the product. So it's an ongoing maintenance. It will be a living product, and there will be new versions that we release once a while. And of course, everybody who is subscribed to the dashboard will participate from new versions. And this upfront. So we will be very, very happy to receive requirements from your side and ideas how we can enhance the version 4.0, because then we put in your ideas in the new version of the dashboard. So one-to-one, the same idea as we successfully do it with Just Planet itself. So the product will enhance over the time based on your feedback. And for sure, every enhanced version will be provided to our subscribers for free. Furthermore, we give user support. We give you a hand if you have questions. You can make use of the normal chat box, reach out, as you guys know, on every channel that is available. And in comparison to the old version, we also provide some extended functionality. So that is, in short, why you should use a dashboard and what is the difference between version 4.0 and the old version. So let's have a quick overview into the functionality itself of the dashboard, and that is very short. Then we directly hop into Power BI itself, and then you see the dashboard in action. So we kept the main dashboard, and the main dashboard shows selected KPIs that really make sense for high mix, low volume manufacturers as they develop over time. Here we focus on number of completed jobs, but number of jobs is one dimension. The other dimension is sales. So therefore, we also show the development of sales over time. We focus on throughput time as well as on-time delivery percentage. Second, we have a look into the utilization of your resources over the time, and that both in an absolute sense and relatively in percentage. And as you know it, you also always have the functionality via selection boxes, to select single resource and resource groups, but I will show you in a minute. There is then the deviation analysis that focuses on the task process time, and here the deviation is the difference between the baseline value and the as is value if you have got a finished operation, or the difference between baseline and current value if the operation is not finished yet. And both shown in absolute and percentage figures, same thing. Then we enhance the calendar view, because now we are showing, as you know it from the old version, here in an Outlook style calendar view, when the dedicated jobs are scheduled to be finished. But additionally, the coloring now mirrors the buffer level. And as you know, the buffer level from Just Planet app, the buffer level is kind of a warning figure that tells you how risky the job will be in time or not in time. So the gray ones have a sufficient buffer level that says the risk is low of being delayed, while red is delayed already and orange and yellow are kind of in between and have a middle risk and you need to have a close eye on. So here we enhance the calendar view by integrating the buffer level. Even a better perspective into the evolvement into the future is our job projection view. So here we combine two figures. First of all, the progress of a job, which is mirrored here in the color. So the lighter the green, or the darker the green, the higher the progress. That's the one perspective. It's the brightness of color green. And second, the bar length itself shows the buffer level. And this gives you a good view into the future, and you will be able, to monitor which jobs run higher risk to be late than others. But that was just a quick overview. Now, guys, let's hop into the dashboard itself and see the dashboard in action. So here, that is the main dashboard. And it is mainly consisting out of three parts. At the top line, we have got aggregated figures that show total numbers of the selected reporting horizon. So here currently from February to end of March, I've got 120 jobs scheduled, 120 jobs coming along with almost 800 tasks, having a total sales of 4 million. In total, in that reporting period, the total on-time delivery percentage is 87.5, and the total average throughput time per each of the 120 jobs is almost 14 hours. So that is the highest level fully aggregated KPIs. So below we have got 4 diagrams that show these KPIs in one level below, so not as aggregated, but as development over time. So here you can see the number of completed jobs from February to August. And here you can directly see that there is obviously a nice development starting from a throughput of 9 jobs, ending planned in August with 25 jobs. Additionally to that total number of completed jobs, you get the information about the status. And here we use the color as you are used to from the Just Planet app. Black means finished jobs, green is under execution or started currently, and gray is not started yet, but planned. And here you can see that obviously February and March I'm totally finished. In April, I have completed already 13 jobs. I started a few, and a few are started and will end in May. So if a job is counted in 1 month, it always relates to the scheduled end date. So it means obviously I've started jobs in April that will finish in May. And I started also jobs that will be finished in April, but I also have finished 13 jobs in April already. Does that make sense? So then, in addition, you see the evolvement of that job throughput in money. So here it's in euros. So that's total sales that come along with the completion and the planned completion of these jobs. And here, luckily, the throughput of jobs obviously one-to-one relates also with the income of money, which is nice to see that obviously you have been able to evolve your business from February below 500,000 per month into a way higher amount, which is here 766 euros planned for August. Then below, we have the on-time delivery percentage. So that is the relation between jobs completed on time and jobs delayed. So red delayed, gray on time. I guess very intuitive, right? So also here we can see a very nice evolvement, because starting from February, I had got like a very high percentage. So 2/3 of my entire 9 jobs, so obviously that's 6 jobs, have been late in February, but I could enhance the OTD month by month, and now currently I do not have any delay scheduled for June, July, and August. Last but not least, we are looking into the evolvement or development of average job throughput time. That is, in my eyes, not as interesting as the other 3 dimensions, but also nice to see, because the throughput time here is the sum of the process time, which is gray, and the waiting time, which is blue. And they both build the throughput time. And here the target should be that you have got a healthy relation between process and waiting time. So if your waiting time percentage is getting too high, then this is most likely that you have got too much workload for your capacities that then end in a bottleneck. But here for a job shop, this relation that you can see here, and also the evolvement over time, shows a pretty nice picture, to be honest. So then, as you might know, as this is built based on Power BI, these diagrams are fully interactive. So let's make an example. If I want to dive in and see which of the 5 jobs here are under execution currently, then I can select, and directly the entire chart here, the entire page, actualizes. And here you can see it, 3 jobs consisting of out of 27 tasks, coming along with 130 euros sales. OTD is really bad, because obviously it's 1 job late in here, and the average throughput time is okay. It is 14 hours. But if you want to see which jobs are behind these 3, then you can further drill down, and with a right mouse click, you can make a drill through into the job details. And then these chart here will show you the 3 jobs that are under execution currently. And here you directly see that obviously the job with PO number 38 has a negative buffer, is delayed. So that's the one who is delayed. And if you want to even see the task details of that job that is delayed, then you can further drill through into the task. And then this chart here shows you all the operations that are behind this job that we have selected for the drill down. So that is a very good example from very, very top level. So we have seen the total amount of jobs in April. We focused on those ones that are under execution currently. From there, we went into the 1 job that is delayed. And from here, we are now into the total information of job routing. So from very, very top level down to the single task. And by the way, you are very free to make use of the column chooser here. So here for actually presentation reason, I have activated all of the columns, but it's fully up to you which of these columns and criteria you want to see and which you just do not need. So just customize this according to your needs. Same is true, by the way, for the job details. Also here, we have got this column chooser that enables you, to select all the columns that you want to see here in the job details. Okay. So second example, same action, same interaction. So if you want to just focus in that area of delayed jobs in May, so here same thing, make it drill down or drill through then you will see this accordingly. And from here, you can also go into the task details accordingly. So that's the nice thing with Microsoft Power BI, fully interactive, really nice and intuitive to use. So the last section of the main page here is at the right, where you also have got some functionality to drill down, or better to filter the data that you want to see. So you can jump between hours and minutes as units. Here you have got a time slider where you can choose, the reporting horizon, which makes more sense, when you really use the dashboard over a long time of period. So then you can adjust if you want to really see the entire history, or just look into the next 6 months, or whatever is your preference, whatever is the question that you want to analyze. It will enable you to just use the time slider accordingly. Furthermore, we have got some selection fields which enables you to select by the execution status. We have got one selection box for the customer field, because we learned that sometimes you guys have got kind of very, let's call them A customers, like very important customers that you also want to spot on. And last but not least, we integrate a lot of custom fields. So the custom fields you guys use on a very, very regular basis. It enables you to put in your customized criteria, e.g. here, I brought in product information. So even all of you guys are very high customized. You have got a very, very big range of product, but still you have got items. Very often you have got top sellers. So and if you want to look into your figure over time, e.g. for a certain product, then you can easily do by selecting based on the job custom fields. So here, I guess there are no limitation. It just refers to what kind of data you are creating within Just Planet. If the data is in Just Planet, you can make use of it in the dashboard too. That's for sure. Okay, so that was the main view here. I guess that is pretty intuitive and allows a very good first glance into your business. So second is that we do not focus on utilization here. Actually, that was my decision for a reason, because I see for high mix, low volume, throughput, on-time delivery, and sales more important than utilization. So that is what I really believe in, because what I always try to tell customers is, if it's a non-bottleneck in high mix, low volume scheduling, you can live with idle times. So you must not have, you do not need to have a 100% utilization necessarily with all use cases. And especially if it's a non-bottleneck, once a while, it makes even sense to keep the resource idle, better to occupy it with no output. So, but nevertheless, we provide diagrams to monitor the utilization. This is a chart that refers to the percentage. And here you can see also the time slider working in the same sense as I showed to you in the main dashboard. And in addition, you can select the resource groups, or even the resources that are assigned and building the resource group itself. So if you want to have a dedicated look into the worker itself, just focus on worker 8, currently utilized by 76%, while the entire group is slightly less occupied over the time. Besides the selection, you have also the chance to drill down. So if you select a month, then you can also make a drill down, and here the drill down now shows the selected month, and here you can see that obviously that's a Monday to Friday business with no working time during weekends, easy to see. And for some reason in 2 weeks, just the Tuesday is not really busy, and you could have a closer eye on that. So then drilling up again, what you also can do is having one perspective into the days by clicking onto this symbol. So then you can scroll within the entire planning horizon and having the same picture as we saw with the drill down, but this is up to your preference actually. Furthermore, what you also can do here is multi-selection. So if you just have that triangle, then it selects automatically, or you can also select via using the control button together with the mouse. Also possible. Okay, also actually same true as for the main dashboard, starting from a top level, giving you some ability to drill down. But again, and just my opinion, don't overrate resource utilization, better spot the KPIs shown in the main dashboard. Here we have got another chart for resource utilization. Here it is showing the utilization per week over the time. And this in an absolute sense and not in percentage. So actually same picture, but another unit and absolute. Here on the right side, we have got like same functionality as shown before. Next chart is showing a deviation analysis. And I outlined before in the overview. So that refers to the task process time. And the deviation includes the difference between the baseline value of task process time and the as-is value that was approved from the shop floor. So actually, the deviation includes the difference of what you initially estimated to what reality said. And you can imagine that having a look in this deviation or this difference gives you an idea of how the quality of your estimation was. And this gives you an idea what you should do to improve the quality of your estimation for the future, right? So here, my deviation shows very high peaks in January, February, March. But obviously, you know, my account has been started in January and it needed obviously a bit of time to come to well-established routines. But still, let's have a look what happened here in March. Why is such a big deviation? So here I select March. I again make a drill through and I will get some details in here and I directly see, so like the highest deviation here obviously comes along with PO17 of a finished job, which really has a very, very high difference. Initially, it was planned to be finished in 750 minutes, but it took me 3,420. So that's just like an enormous difference. So why that? So let's have a look into our actual data. And luckily, for some reason, I have not deleted the past data, but we can also directly go and search for that 17 job. So here we can see it's finished, and let's now see what happened with the ceramics. So here you can see, obviously, it was planned here just to last 2 days, but it was lasting almost 2 weeks. So is that realistic? Obviously not, because the bonding was starting before and there was no overlap defined. So if we have a look into our resource-centric views with total workload, and showing the past. So here you can see that obviously worker 6 started and ended this, but in parallel, he was doing other things. So it's most likely that this is just a mistake of setting the data. So obviously, worker 6 forget to set this task as finished while he started and finished other ones. So, and that was the reason why even worker 5 started this before, because like the job was processed, but it was just missing data to be finished and approved. So obviously here, the process of the scheduling routines haven't been established successfully. And this is something that must be enhanced in the future for this scheduling team here. But anyway, you directly get an idea if such spikes are appearing. The answer could also be, yes, it took so long due to this and this reason. So if there is really a big deviation, so really big issues within your operations, you will spot it. And the easiest way to spot will be via looking into the deviation analysis charts here. Spotting this is the first step. The second step I recommend is that on a regular basis, like let's say every half a year, I recommend that you have a deeper dive into the figures and do analysis based on resource groups and resources, because very often having as is values, comparing them with your initially estimated values, you will get some approaches by resources or resource groups, or let's call it by work units, that you can improve. So example, sometimes looking back, you learn that in ceramics, your estimated values were just too optimistic and you need to increase them by 20%. Also the other way around could be, so that your assumption were that sandblasting always takes quite long, but reality showed, well, you can decrease your estimation for the future. So that is actually the targeted result of spotting this, because spotting this, you want to learn how to make it better in the future. Does that make sense? Okay, then next is the calendar view. So the calendar view is not as interactive, to be honest, because it is that Outlook styled view here, showing here month, week, day, and you can move forward very easy. So as you are very used from Outlook, or most of you. So, but in addition, what you get is, of course, like a very first glance into per month, which jobs are scheduled on time, which are late, and which have a risk to run late, right? So, for example, not only managers might be interested, but maybe also some, if you have got salespeople, yeah. So they should not be ruining your planning board, or being regular visitors of the details. For them, such an overview would be helpful, just to see, okay, looking for the jobs they are responsible for, looking if they're on time, looking for when they are scheduled. So that enables them to keep communication with the customer updated based on, yeah, the core information about the job and its involvement. Okay, but even a better perspective into the future, and kind of a radar if jobs, or how jobs project, is coming along with the job projection view. So what do we see here? So first of all, the length of the bar, it's showing the buffer level. So the buffer level, from Just Planet app, the buffer level is a KPI that comes along, with kind of, or is a risk figure. So if you have got a high buffer level, it means that there is enough space between the scheduled end date and the due date compared to the time that you need to complete it. So it's always a relation between how far is a scheduled end to the due date in relation to the time that you need from now to finish the job. Very important to understand that this is a relative figure. And the bigger the buffer level, the better is the value of buffer against time needed. And here you can see these jobs currently are sorted by sequence number, and you can see I've got really sufficient buffer levels. So like if you ask me, the buffer level is too high. It's not needed. Even in early stages, you would not need a buffer level of 16. That is just, it is not conservative. That's just too much. You could decrease. So you could either do a better or earlier due date with your customers, so offer earlier due dates in such a case, or second is, to schedule it later, bring in time constraints to have a later start. That would also be a possibility. But looking into these high amounts of buffer level, and if we are looking into the account itself, then you see the big time duration between scheduled ends and jobs. That's just too far. So like you could easily offer an earlier due date to your customers and get this out to the customer, and or what you could do is have a later start date and force the job to be scheduled later. Both possible in my eyes, but this is just not a healthy buffer and buffer level in my eyes. That's just too pessimistic. But that always refers to your preference as a matter of fact. So the second information that you get here is by the color. The darker the green, the more is the percentage of completion, or we call that progress. So, and that helps you, to also look into the future. So like here, obviously it is just it's just one job actually scheduled late, because have in mind, this is a looking into the future. So we are just spotting started and jobs that are not started yet. So we are don't looking into the past, so because we cannot change it anymore for that purpose. Here it's just looking into the future and seeing where are my jobs that run a high risk of getting late, and where do I have jobs that have a sufficient buffer and buffer level. So, and for that purpose, you are able, to sort this diagram in multiple ways. So here currently it shows sequence numbers, but what you also could do is you could sort it by due date, for example. So this is now sorted by due date. And here you can see, okay, there are really some with high due dates and enormous buffers. Or what you also could do is you could sort it by sales. So have the sales here currently is 700, and the highest one is here, obviously 118 PO. And here you can see between sales and buffer level is also no relation, and a job with just like a relatively small amount of sales has the highest buffer level. So here also potentially sequence numbering could be improved. So it will help you, to spot your jobs based on the buffer level plus the progress. And to get even a better insight into the classification of jobs in terms of the buffer level, you can also go to the projection details. And the projection details here have now the same structure as the main page, but again, focusing on jobs without finished ones. And here we can see the on-time delivery percentage for the jobs that are not finished yet is very high. It is, 96%, so 80 jobs currently are not even scheduled on time. They have got a sufficient buffer level. 2 are scheduled late. and one is running risk. So even if you would have a longer list in the red section and in the orange-yellow section, this coloring would also speak. So the darker red, the higher is the minus of buffer level, and the lighter the red, it goes towards the orange. So the brightness of color here also includes the value. So here, spotting the job, very easy. So obviously we have got one job with PO 53 that is currently scheduled late. And let's have a look into Just Planet. So that is obviously my job here that is currently scheduled late. And as I could see in the buffer level diagram, it shows enormous reserves of buffer. So it is most likely that the sequence numbering here can easily be improved. So let's just have one example. We have got the critical sequence number, you guys know. So the critical sequence number of a delayed job is that number that you need to assign to the job to get it on time. So let's calculate here what we need to do to bring that job in time with the lowest sequence number. So that's the 15. Currently, we have got 15 jobs over due date, including the finished ones, but then we have got 14. So obviously we can make better use of our buffer, increase the priority, and have a conflict-free plan almost here. So no conflict with that anymore. Let's have a look into the other job. So here, obviously, it is not the highest prioritization, but what we can see is that it is overdue since actually now 5 days, but there is no waiting time within the job. So increasing the priority would not bring any better result. What we could do is we could split the bonding or bring in more heads, but still, as we are here currently, and the due date is in the past, this job will be delayed no matter what we do. So here our possible options of actions are really limited. So let's leave it with what we see here, but at least we could make use of the buffer level to bring that job on time. So going back, I guess you guys see what we aim with the job projection view and the details. So that is not having the focus too much looking back, but also seeing how the evolvement is forward, having that diagram here that directly shows you or gives you at a first glance the quality of your schedule towards the O2D into the future. And this for sure, in addition with the entire look into the entire planning horizon, gives you an additional information as you are a manager or a shop owner. Okay, so this actually was the overview of functionality into the Just Planet Production Excellent Dashboard version 4.0. And now let's close that webinar with some summary and with presenting the business model to you. Okay, therefore I'm going back into the presentation and let's sum up the advantages. So first, why dashboard? It's absolutely transparent. So like if you are a manager and shop owner, you get a clear view of the performance from top view with very intuitive functionality to drill down. Second, it is easy to install and to use. So the new dashboard really doesn't need any development skills on your side. So the installation is super easy and you do not have any developer in your team. What we provide, enables everyone to get the dashboard going. It directly connects with your account. It's incremental. So your production planner can keep the planning board lean, not as I showed to you in my dashboard. Normally, it should be minimum a weekly routine to delete the finished jobs, but you just delete it out of your Just Planet account. We keep the data in Azure and you can see it in the dashboard. So then the version 4 is provided as a living product. So it is now part of the Just Planet family. It will be maintained and further developed based on your feedback. So again, if you have got ideas, what you want to see in the dashboard, or if there is something, that potentially a lot of people are happy to see, just let us know. So we will hear what you are saying, what your ideas are, and if we see the benefit, we will integrate it into the dashboard. And with this maintenance and further enhancing the product, of course, everybody who is having an active Just Planet dashboard subscription will participate from new functionality in the future. And last but not least, it is affordable and it does not require any upfront installation fee because it is subscription based. What it does requires is a Just Planet account for sure, because like with no Just Planet data, the dashboard makes no sense, plus a dashboard subscription. And what you need is Microsoft Power BI license Pro minimum. But we have learned that most of you guys are Microsoft customers, so normally Power BI should be part of what you have anyway. And coming to the subscription of dashboard, so we have got a market introduction price that is valid until end of May, and we only charge 100 euros per month for a dashboard subscription. And this, of course, as every time in Just Planet based on an annual subscription, but you are able to add the Just Planet the dashboard subscription at any time. So if, e.g., your planning horizon of your subscription period ends at end of the year, and you want to add the dashboard now, then this will be added pro rata in terms of pricing. What you will get is, for initial delivery, we provide the Power BI file to you, which will include exactly what you have seen here today, together with a manual how to install the dashboard. So that is a PDF with lots of pictures, screenshot, and explanation, so that step by step you can interface and install the dashboard with or interface with your Just Planet account. If you have got any issues, no worries. So then we can give you a hand too, and then we will learn if we maybe also can improve our manual. But this is just a one-time effort, but it's included in the subscription anyway. And ongoing, we store your data, we give you user support, we maintain the product, and you will get 3 versions of the dashboard. So this is the JPI Production Excellence Dashboard version 4.0. So a new member of the Just Planet family. And I'm very convinced that this is really adding value to actually your business. So monitoring and seeing the performance of your business at a glance is really a top plus. I'm happy if you guys have any questions. I'm happy if you guys have any ideas how we can further evolve. And I'm even more happy if a lot of people reach out to us and want to have the dashboard subscription started. For this, just reach out to anyone of our team or to sales@justplanet.com, to myself, to anyone in the team via chat box. Just let us know if you're interested. We are happy to hear from you. And with that, I thank you very much for your kind attention. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.